Welcome to Proper Pilates with Imani. This sequence today is going to be all lying down, so get nice and comfortable. I am on 1 full and 1 half spring, and I'll come to lie down. Headrest at your usual setting, same for the stopper. I've got my toes on the foot bar about 2 inches apart. I slightly lift my ankles, and from there I'm going to press out and back in. Trying to really keep that alignment here. So you want to feel your knees stack over your ankles, hips over knees, almost like you have a yoga block in between the inner thighs. Chest is open with the arms relaxed. And of course, we've got that small pocket of air, our mouse trap, in between our pelvis and lowest rib. I'll hold the legs straight on this one and begin to go for a walk. I'm going to quicken the pace of my walk to a bit more of a run, really fighting to keep my pelvis steady and knees angling up to the ceiling. 5. And last one. Okay, just bringing those toes a smidge closer, maybe a big toes to touch or like a little centimetre between them. I'm going to unhook the right leg and dangle it long and low, moving the carriage all the way forward and all the way back. I'm going to begin to bring that right leg into a tabletop and then weave it back underneath the foot bar to come forward. Tabletop. Being mindful not to hike that hip as you lift the leg. And you can slow it down. This one's about proprioception, seeing where your body moves in space. So if you keep on stubbing your toe, then slow it down. I'm going to try to go for a weave now. So I go 1 above the foot bar, back, 1 underneath. I sometimes see clients shortchanging this move. So they're not coming all the way forward or pressing all the way back. You still want that full range of motion, carriage all the way into the stopper and pressing back out. Last time. I'm going to put those toes down and relax the heels. Lift the heels slightly, left leg unhooks. I kind of did this on the first side, but I self-corrected. Sometimes you see, and what I was just doing myself, a really high ankle here, like a stiletto, and you just want a wedge heel. You just want it to be slightly lifted, a bit of like a Barbie foot. I heard one instructor call it once, but rather than being really high and jamming into the foot, just a gentle lift as you work ankle stability. Beginning to drag that left leg into a tabletop. I'm going to begin to start that weave. So 1 above, tabletop, This will be the last time. I'll put both feet on the foot bar and bend the knees and bring it in. Going on to some arm work, I'm going to grab the straps and make them short. I feel that resistance, my arms are straight, and I'm trying to create a bit of space between my shoulders and the shoulder blocks. I just want it to feel easy up there. A slight pull down of my back. I prefer a supported pelvis here as I bring my legs into tabletop. Holding these arms nice and straight, I'm going to glide the left one open to the left, and back up, right one. That breath pattern here would be inhale and exhale. I'm going to hold the arms up and then now press them down to the bed and back up to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders feeling broad, chest feeling open. Hopefully spine feeling long, especially as you press the arms down. Feel the head reach back and the tailbone reach down to the foot bar. On this next one, I'm going to hold the arms up to the ceiling. I'm going to bring the feet a smidge higher. From there, I'm going to close the knees and open. Close and open. And if it doesn't feel like much is happening for the legs or the low abdomen, then bring those feet up a little bit higher to the ceiling and work with those knees further forward towards the foot bar. 2, 1. Popping those feet down, taking a breather for the arms. Okay, so we're going to kind of build on to that diamond tabletop, some of the arm movements we were just doing. Bringing those arms up. Legs in tabletop with the feet higher. I'm going to go for the diamond tabletop, actively squeezing my feet together, knees apart. Gliding that left arm open to the left. I'm going to try to wrap my hands back behind my left hamstring, or left thigh, just to make it easy. Left arm opens to the left, right arm to ceiling. Hands wrap behind the left leg. My fingertips don't touch. They're not that long, these arms. Pretty long, but they may start to touch now, though, as I prepare to curl up. So I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders as I reach. Avoid hiking that left hip. It's still reaching down. We are also avoiding those knees crunching in. So it shouldn't be this. You should be trying to actively bring those hands back behind the left leg by curling up towards the thigh. Great, from here I'm going to glide that left arm up, put my feet down for a moment, and prep to take it onto the other side. Legs in that diamond tabletop. Right arm glides open, hands meet back behind the right thigh. Right arm to the right, left arm to ceiling. Starting to add my curl up. So I'm trying to also miss the microphone. Apologise if you're hearing that. Last one. Arms up, feet down. breather. We're going to try to take it from side to side. Of course, why not? Legs come to that diamond tabletop. Arms to the ceiling. I open the left arm to the left and reach behind that left leg, curling up. Open. Switch. Switch. For 2. Last round here. Press those arms down. Back to that diamond tabletop. Feel the energy out of the arms. Let's try to hinge those feet down towards the foot bar and back up. Shape of the legs is not changing. I'm opening at the front of my hip here and closing. Really wrap those abs in. 2. I'm going to make them longs and put them away. Actually, I may just do the floor. We'll grab them in a minute. Don't want to keep on messing with my hair. What hair style do we wear when doing reformer? There's never a right one. Still do it though, of course, right? Heel area on the foot bar, about 3-4 inches apart. Pressing the arms down. I'm going to keep my chest nice and open as I tuck and roll up into a bridge. There we go. Just want to move my mic. Push the carriage out about 2/3 of the way, so there's a soft bend in the knees. I'm going to melt down my entire spine, really rolling onto the bed, keeping the bed steady though. And then I bend the knees and bring the carriage bed forward. Rolling up into a bridge, keeping the bed in. Pressing out 2/3 of the way. Melting down. Coming in. One more time. Little breather here. Straight onto that reverse now. Pressing out about 2/3 of the way, keeping the bed heavy. Keeping the bed steady now. Roll the hips up into a bridge. Make sure it's lovely and lifted. Lifting from the hips, not the ribs or the chest. Once the carriage is in, melt down that spine, articulating through, pelvis lands, and we press out 2/3 of the way. Rolling up, keeping the bed steady. Bend the knees, bring it in, nice high bridge. Melting down. Last time. Now grabbing hold of those straps. Putting them on our feet. Nice and even, right in the middle of that arch. My legs are straight. I'm going to glue them together. They're in parallel, meaning toes and kneecap is facing gaze. Pushing them down and up. We use our glutes here with feet in straps, really pressing from our bottom. I mean, I know so many things are working, especially in the leg hip region, but I try to relax my quads as much as possible here. Just really put it into the powering down and then the stability to stop. Just 2 exercises here in parallel today. This is the first one, and the second one will happen now as we hold our legs down about halfway. They're still actively squeezing, and I'll bend into a tabletop and push forward. Rope should be tracing the shin bones here, and you're just looking for that nice right angle. I do sometimes see all types of stuff, and I get it. You can't really, that's why we do all the proprioception exercises. It's hard to know where your limbs are moving in space when you're standing or looking at yourself in the mirror. So it's even harder when you're in the moving carriage. But you see lots of feet dropping and the kind of ropes going either side, or maybe people working a bit too high and their knees separate. So just finding that angle and trying to stick with it. And we get those knees nice and straight, working the extensors. Okay, that was the second exercise in parallel. I'm going to now turn these into some frogs. So my heels will squeeze, the knees will go a bit wider as they come in. I'm going to keep the legs really straight and zipped up in my Pilates stance. So V through the feet, knees slightly turned out. And I'm going to lift and lower. Holding the legs down about halfway. I'm going to open and close. They're still in that turn out through the thigh bone, and the knees are nice and straight so we can fire into the inner thighs and the low abdomen as we close. This is the last one. If you know, oh God, front crawl, butterfly, I don't know the swimming stroke, but it's quite similar to that same action through the legs. So I've got my legs in Pilates stance. I'm going to bring it in for a frog, and then I'm going to open the feet, maybe like 8 inches. Press forward and slightly wider, the width of the foot bar, and then 2 straight legs will squeeze together. Frog. Open the feet, forward and wider, squeeze together. Last time. Of course, the reverse. When is there not a reverse? Open the legs about the width of the foot bar. Bend in the knees. Knees aim for shoulder blocks. Start to bring the feet together or the heels together in V, and then push forward. Open. We bend. Heels together. That one was a bit wobbly. We get it right most of the time. Okay, I push my legs forward. I rotate them to parallel. I'm going to work with the thigh bone movement, doing an exercise called short spine legs first, and then taking it onto that full short spine for those people that are uncomfortable with inverting up or lifting up through the spine. So my legs are in parallel, squeezed together. I'm going to hinge them up to the ceiling. Pelvis is still nice and heavy. From here, I'm going to rotate them into Pilates stance. Bend the knees over the abdomen, heels drop down towards pelvis, and press forward in a reverse frog. Parallel. Hinge the feet up. Rotate to Pilates stance. Knees bend over the abdomen. Heels reach down and legs go forward. Parallel. Lift. Pilates stance. One more time for the legs. Okay, so if you know you want to invert, you've heard of short spine, or you've possibly practiced it lots before, just make sure that headrest is down. We're going to try to lift our hips. And if you're just starting to practice it, maybe just seeing where you can lift your hips to. Do not feel like you have to come all the way up to the shoulders, so you can lift up through your mid to low back and then do the legs. It's the same legs that we've been doing, but once you hinge the feet up towards the ceiling, we're going to add that torso lift. So my legs are back to parallel and straight. I'm going to bring my feet to that same angle we were going before. However, now I'm going to start to lift up. You could pause here or for the full range all the way up as you really lift out of your spine. Rotate the legs to Pilates stance. Begin to bend the knees. Instead of over the abdomen, knees will come a bit more over those temples. I'm going to try to keep my bed steady as I roll down. Also, my feet are feeling quite light here as I get that massage through my spine, and press the feet down and away, just like the legs. Back to parallel. I'm going to talk less now, but try to go as slow as possible. as I hinge the feet up. I'll then begin to activate through the glutes. Just some cues and some tips. Really try to lift out of that back. Use your abs as much as possible, your bottom. Press those arms down, rotate, keep it steady. Here it's almost like your feet are gliding down a wall. Feet should feel very light, hardly any resistance in those straps as you roll down through the back as much as you can. And then we push into those feet. 2 more times. We're just going to finish up with the butterfly stretch. So I bring the soles of my feet together. You can hold them here with the widest knees. You can maybe push your knees open with your hands. Try to keep your pelvis rooted. And if you want a bit more, like you're quite a bit more open in the hip sockets, you can let the feet fall down towards the front edge of your carriage bed there. And just kind of let gravity do its work on the inner thighs as you let the hip sockets relax. We'll go for 5. I bring those feet back in towards the torso. Knees in a comfortable position as I unhook from the straps. The hair. Thank you for joining today, and I will see you next time.